Hi, YouTubers and wet shavers everywhere. It's SmartForGeorgeTune.com. I'm back with another Monday morning mailbag. Get yourself a cup of coffee, kick back, relax. Let's talk a little wet shaving and a few other things. What do you got this morning? I got something really new and really, really unique. Hang on. That's a really, really delightful cup of coffee. Yeah, again, I was in my local Trader Joe's and I saw this on the shelf. Trader Joe's instant coffee packets. Ideal for travel. Now, that's what caught my eye right there, because we've been talking about travel shaving gear in previous episodes. And I thought, wow, this is really a neat idea. It is a coffee packet, and you get 10 of these for $1.99. It's a coffee packet that has coffee, cream, and sugar right here in this coffee packet. And all you do is just put it in your mug, add hot water, and you got a beautiful cup of coffee. I mean, it is really, really very, very flavorful. I don't know if you can see that right there. And then, let me see if you can see that. I don't want to I don't know if you can see that. It's just right there. See that? It's just got that nice medium. It's not black. It's got that nice medium brown color to it, and it is a really well-balanced cup of coffee. I really, really like it. And the other thing that's really nice about it is that it's pure cane sugar. So it's not high fructose. It's not high fructose corn syrup. It's sugar, real sugar. And right there, all you do is open it up, put it in your mug, add hot water, stir it, and you got a cup of coffee. And it is fantastic. It says ingredients: cane sugar, creamer, potassium, Arabica coffee, and it does contain milk, and it says 100% Arabica coffee right there. It is terrific, and this is my second pack already, in my second packet, and it is really ideal for traveling. You could take the whole box or take several of these and throw them in your DOP kit or your overnight bag, whatever you have, and have a nice cup of coffee. And of course, I'm just using my generic mug here. But it is just a terrific, terrific cup of coffee. So just using the generic mug because I'm trying to highlight the coffee and talk about the coffee a little bit more. It really is very, very nice. If you got a Trader Joe's in your area, check this out. $1.99 for 10 packets. It really is terrific. And I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. Hang on. Really well balanced. Coffee, cream, and sugar are really well balanced here. Anyhow, I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. If you're taking me on your morning commute, thanks very much for the ride. Well, let's get right to it because we got some great topics. We got some great comments, some great questions here this morning, and I want to get to it. So let's kick it off, as we always do, with a morning shaving tip. Okay, this morning's morning shaving tip comes from viewer Kurt Arn Soli, S-O-L-L-I. Kurt, I hope I pronounced that correctly. And he writes, "Hello, Mark Zarady. Solid Shaves here." That's his screen name, Solid Shaves. "Thanks for the mention in last Monday's Monday morning mailbag. Here's my tip. When I started wet shaving in 2012, I really loved the great shaves I got from using traditional wet shaving gear. But the day after I shaved, I never got as good a shave. Why? I do not know. But the tip is, wait one day before you shave again. Perhaps back then I had light hair growth, and that was the reason. I would like to shave every morning, but these days I let my beard grow for at least one or several days before shaving. That way, I don't lose interest in wet shaving. As always, take care, and may you have solid shaves." Yours truly, Kurt from Solid Shaves. Thanks very much for that tip, Kurt. I agree. It's great to rest the face every once in a while. I know I do that, especially if I'm going to be reviewing a razor. And let's say I want 2 days worth of growth, to really kind of give that razor or brush or soap kind of a good test run, so to speak. I'll give my face a rest, so to speak. Although I like to shave every single day. I don't like to have that extra day's growth on my face, 2 or 3 days, that sort of thing. It bothers me. But I do see the value in resting the face, and I think it's a very good tip, very common sense tip that we need to be reminded of, especially if you're a beginner. A lot of beginners out there probably are going to be doing this naturally anyhow. If you're a really young man and you were light, and you're say, I was light. I'm a fair-skinned individual. I had a light beard. So if I would have used a safety razor back then, I probably would have shaved maybe 3 days a week, something like that, every other day. And that probably would have gotten around. I probably would have done it that way. I know in using an electric razor early on, I know I probably shouldn't have gone down that road, but you all know the history of my coming back to the traditional wet shave. Even with an electric razor, early on as a young man in my teen years and into college, I wasn't using it every single day. I didn't need to. I just was a fair-skinned individual who had a light beard. But even today, yes, I usually will, I'll shave every day, but every once in a blue moon is what I mean to say. I'll give my face a rest, especially if I'm going to be reviewing a new razor or something like that. So that's a really, really good tip. And thanks for the reminder, Kurt. Really do appreciate it. So for you and only you, here it is right here, an original George sketch to say thanks very much for the tip. Really, really do appreciate it. So please email me your snail mail address at mondaymailbag@gmail.com, mondaymailbag@gmail.com, and I will send this to you post haste. And if you out there would like an original George sketch for your shaving den to frame and to hang on the wall of your shaving den, please just send me your shaving tip. And if I use it in the viewer shaving tip segment on Monday Morning Mailbag, you too will receive an original George sketch. Speaking of shaving dens, Al Spencer got his George sketch, and he sent it along with this note. And he writes, "My little corner of the bathroom. Thanks for the special cartoon." Thank you very much, Al, for framing it up. You've got a wonderful, wonderful setup there. I love that cabinet, and it looks like the frame and the cabinet match. Absolutely beautiful. So thank you. I'm honored that you're hanging my cartoon in your shaving den like that. It looks absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. And if you received the sketch, snap a picture of it, send it in. I'll feature it on the morning shaving tip so everyone can see your shaving den and see how see the artwork hanging there. I'm really flattered and honored that a lot of you are doing this. If you have sent me a picture and you haven't seen it in this segment, you know what? Send me an email, nudge me a little bit, because I'm getting a lot of great responses and a lot of great correspondence from a lot of viewers, and I'm very flattered by that. I just have to get a little more organized. Maybe down the road I'll have to get an assistant to help keep all this stuff in order. It's been a lot of fun, but sometimes things will slip through the cracks as I'm trying to compile subjects, questions, and comments for the Monday Morning Mailbag. So again, just give me a little nudge and or send the image again, and I'll be sure to feature it on the Monday Morning Mailbag viewer shaving tip segment. So thanks again, Kurt. Really, really do appreciate you sending along the tip. Also, viewer Abhinay Samant mounted his George sketch and is displaying it in his shaving den. It looks absolutely terrific with his shaving gear there. Thanks very much for that, Abhi. I really, really do appreciate it. It looks absolutely wonderful. Thanks again. Okay, we're off to a great start. And again, I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. Well, you know what? I'm about due for a refill, and I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get one of these packets and do a quick refill, and I'll be right back so we can all go back for a refill. Yeah, all right. I did go back for a refill. You can see I stirred that up a little bit, and I left the spoon in there while I was taking a sip because, just as an aside, I had an instructor in high school for a driving class, the class you would take to learn how to drive a car when you're 15, 16 years old. This gentleman's name was Mr. John Hall, and he taught auto driving class. And he used to be a truck driver also. And he would say that truck drivers know that when they're at a truck stop and they order a cup of coffee, it's going to be piping hot. So that's why they leave the spoon in the mug to allow that metal to absorb that excess heat, so that when they take that first sip, they're not burning their mouth. And I've always remembered that. And I just happened to share that with you because I have to stir up this coffee here. And it is good and piping hot. And it is, again, a delightful cup of coffee. But yeah, so I went back for a refill. Here's the refill segment. Let's kick it off with something from Mark Bagwell. He is commenting on the razor and brush stand that we showed you last week from viewer Andy Schneider. And he writes, Mark, that was a gorgeous wood rack one viewer made. And there is something else should be mentioned. Wood is the best razor holder because wood won't scratch the metal platings, though not everyone is confident enough at woodworking to make their own. So here's a wood rack for the rest of us. It's on Amazon for a cheap price and works perfectly. Yeah, this is the ISCO Labs Premium Wood Test Tube Rack. 22 millimeters, 22 millimeter holes, 9.5 inches long. And yeah, it makes for a great razor rack. There is a 6-holder delivered to your door for $16. It comes fully assembled, also comes in a 12-holder version, and priced very, very affordably, and could be a very, very good solution for those of us out there who don't excel at woodworking and would like to have a solution for displaying a lot of razors on our counter in our shaving den, that sort of thing. So thanks very much for that, Mark. Really do appreciate that. And I'll have links to those below. Viewer Qua Veda, Quaveda, 2 words, Qua Veda. And he writes, Hi, Mark. I'm relatively new to wet shaving, but I'm accumulating enough brushes, soaps, etc. that it didn't fit well in my small bathroom. I found these acrylic shelves on Amazon, and they were easy to install. I still use cupboard space to store razors, soap samples, aftershaves, but these shelves give me options to display and rearrange for a welcoming look. Well, thanks very much for that, Quaveda. I really do appreciate it. This probably could have gone into the new shaving gear segment, but because we were talking about storage from last week, I included in the storage as a refill, talking about storage. And they really are very good looking shelves. And again, I'll have a link to those for anybody interested and looking for a shelving solution for your shaving den. That is really, really a terrific idea. From Keith Osmond, this is regarding my tips last week, or I think last week or previous to that, about starting out with a traditional wet shave. And I was recommending to a viewer that they start with a mild razor. Keith Osmond offered this. Start with a mild razor. I think that may depend on your beard. Mild razors are just too mild for me and always irritate my skin because I end up over shaving. If I'd started with a mild razor, I may not have stayed with wet shaving. My first double edge was the Henson Medium, and its efficiency and smoothness and built-in shaving angle was a perfect introduction. Another good option might be an adjustable. A bit pricey for starting, maybe, but you get to determine what kind of range you need for your beard, mild, medium, or aggressive. Keith, thanks very much for that. That is absolutely true. And I guess in recommending a mild razor approach, I'm going on my own personal experience. So I'm glad that you shared your personal experience and contrasted what your wet shaving journey was like in using something that's a little more aggressive, has a little more growl, so to speak. I think that's absolutely fine. So I also think that the adjustable razor is a really, really good choice because, as you say, you can dial in the perfect shave for yourself and kind of determine what your skin and beard type needs. Absolutely great suggestion, and happy to pass it along. And I guess it is a your mileage may vary kind of thing. I'm fair skinned, so mild is the way to go for me. Somebody else out there might have a little more demanding beard. And as you say, you got to up it a little bit. You got to get a little more aggressive, a little more efficient, a little more growl. And that might be the key to giving them some fantastic, fantastic shaves. So I agree. Thanks very much for passing that along. That's fantastic. And that's about it for the refill this week. So I wanted to thank Keith and Mark and Qua Veda for their comments. Really do appreciate it, gentlemen. All right, it's time to check out some new shaving gear. Well, okay, we got some really neat items in new shaving gear this morning. And again, thanks to all the viewers who are contributing these little nuggets of new shaving gear and passing them along. This is absolutely wonderful. Again, I didn't think I was going to have enough material to keep this segment going, but the viewers have just been outstanding in sending along things that they've come across. Kicking it off from viewer Sean Valou. And he writes, Mark, I almost forgot to mention a tidbit about soaps and drying. There was a question in the last Monday morning mailbag, and you also mentioned this during your Pierre Lucien review. By the way, I ordered that soap last night. I had my eye on that soap, and particularly that collaboration with the donkey's milk. Your great review made up my mind. Well, I'm very, very happy to hear that. I think you're going to really be happy with that soap. Anyhow, he continues, after I use a soap puck, I keep it uncapped for at least 24 hours so that it can dry out before being covered again. In fact, I've read on multiple shaving sites that it's best to never cover a soap up again, as Lucien directed. But I have to store my soaps, so I cover them again. An invaluable piece of shaving gear that I also came across on Etsy is this shave soap drying station. I have two so I can rotate my soaps. That is fantastic. It looks like what you're doing is you're taking that tub of soap that you've just maybe lathered out of, that it's got some moisture in it, turning it upside down on that soap drying station and letting the excess moisture run out. And there's enough of a clearance to allow air to come up underneath it and dry out that soap. That is absolutely fantastic, Sean. Again, I'll have a link for that below if any of you are interested. That's really, really a terrific, terrific idea. Thanks very much, Sean. Really do appreciate it. Bart Bartlett wrote, hi, Mark. I wanted to pass this along. When you mentioned that Good Line Nick Stick on a recent Monday morning mailbag, I got to checking for other products and ran across this one. The amount and price are definitely better than Nick Sticks. I would imagine 3 bottles of this liquid styptic will last many years. He's referring to the Infalab Magic Touch Liquid Styptic Skin Protector. Stop bleeding cuts. You get 3 of these little vials, 3 of these little bottles. And he goes on to say, anyway, when I shaved this morning, I did get a nick that allowed me to try it out. All I did was put a drop on my fingertip and dab the liquid into the cut. It worked and the bleeding stopped right away. It dried clear, so there was no white residue like we get from styptic pencils. You might check it out to see if it's worth including in your shaving gear and deal segment. Well, I just did, Bart. Thanks very much. And if you're interested in it, folks, I'll have a link below. I haven't tried it myself, but it does look like it's another really, really good option. As you know, I talked about the Good Line Nick Stick, and yeah, regular price is like $6.50, which I've said is really kind of pricey. I mean, a styptic pencil is really, really affordable. These are a couple of bucks. And this one here on sale, 50% off. So it was like $3.25. I thought it was worth $3.25, but not quite $6.50. Again, it's a roller ball where you just apply the liquid healing agent, and it dries clear just as the product that Bart sent along. So you know what? It's great that all these products are out there for nicks and cuts. Once in a blue moon, it's going to happen. So it's great to have either a traditional styptic pencil or one of these nick cares, or even this bottled Nick here. I'm definitely going to check that out. If I get some Amazon points, probably going to get some and use them in a review. So thanks very much for that, Bart. Really do appreciate it. Viewer Beth Jones writes and says, Dear Mark, I recently switched from using shower gels to using Stirling soaps, bath soaps, and they are wonderful. This morning it dawned on me that this bath soap could also be used as a pre-shave soap. Like their shave soap, Stirling's bath soaps are tallow-based and it leaves the skin clean, soft, and moisturized. And the bath soaps are available in most of the same fragrances as the shave soap. And it would be an appropriate use for both men and women. I now use Stirling's bath soap as a pre-shave soap, and it works very well for me. Thanks so much, Mark, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks very much for that, Beth. Really do appreciate that. That's an absolutely great shaving gear tip. Now, I am getting low on the Stirling Barbershop shave soap. I love that. So I'm going to look up there and see if they have the bath soap in the barbershop scent. And if they do, I'm going to get some and use that as a pre-shave soap, as you suggested. That's absolutely fantastic. And folks, I'll link to the shaving soaps page so you can kind of peruse those and see if they have any scents that match up with some of the Stirling shave soaps that you might have. Thanks very much for that, Beth. Really, really do appreciate it. Okay, viewer Mike DeLeese writes, Hey Mark, I know you constantly are recommended products by viewers and probably do not have limitless funds, but I know you, along with myself and so many others, are fans of the Edwin Jagger DE89. Yes, I am. I have that razor as well as the Edwin Jagger standard razor head and some other handles, and it's very good. I like them a lot. I just purchased the Razorock MJ-90A, whose head is based off of the DE89. After 2 shaves, I cannot recommend this razor enough. In the product description, they said they made it way better, and I could not agree more. Head is CNC machined from aircraft aluminum block as one piece. Post will never break or snap off, and the handle is CNC machined from 316L marine grade stainless steel. All for $29.99 with a free 5-pack of Derby blades. Wow, that's a great price. Hope all is well and keep up the great work with the channel, Mike DeLeese. That's fantastic. I'm going to link that below, folks, and give that a look. Mike likes it. Definitely worth looking into. So thanks again for that, Mike DeLeese. I really, really do appreciate the tip. Okay, viewer Jimmy V Photography checks in and he writes, Oh, something else for the mailbag. You spoke at length about alum. Here's a small travel size alum stick that I've had since March, and you can see how little it's gone down. The top unscrews, and there you are. Super easy to use and travels perfectly. Yeah, I have that one too, right here, the Omega alum stick. I've got this, and this is wonderful. I haven't used it as often as some of the other alum blocks that I have, but yeah, I'll just show it to you like this, and it is, I don't know how they make this, how they compress this or how they form this, but yeah, wet it like that and just apply it that way. Yeah, travels well, recaps, very sturdy. Yeah, a nice alum option from Omega. He also adds, speaking of travel, here's a bowl I bought for travel, but now use all the time. It creates great lather, holds heat, easy to hold, and can't break. I bought it from Amazon for $14. And there it is. It's Timeless Razors Blue Shaving Bowl. That looks like a fantastic bowl. Thanks for sending along the photo, Jimmy V Photography. That's absolutely great. And if you're looking for another shaving bowl, I'll link this one below, as well as the alum stick that Jimmy V Photography recommended, one that I have as well. So if you're looking for, again, some more travel items, there you go. A couple of more travel items in the shaving gear segment for you. So my thanks to all the folks who contributed these items to the segment this morning. Thanks very much. Really do appreciate it. Okay, let's get to some of these comments and questions. We got some great stuff this morning. We're going to kick it off with something from a viewer named Shelfer, S-H-A-L-P-H-E-R. And he's relating his shaving routine to us. He commented in one of the videos I did. Great shave, Mark. Love my Henson too. He has the mild one. As I recall now, it was one of the Henson reviews I did. I think this was the Henson medium review I did. Anyhow, he says, love my Henson too. He has the mild version. I'm using the Gillette Platinum Blues from Bull Goose Shaving. I have a similar Nick stick roll-on from Shave Nation. Works great, just like the Good line. And hey, we all get nicks and weepers now and then. One thing I do in my routines is lather up for a final clean rest pass after 2 or 3 shave passes, usually 3 for me, and then I clean up my razor, soap, bowls, etc., while leaving the lather on my face. I find keeping the high quality soaps on my skin really hydrates and heals up my face. And usually, if I have any nicks or weepers, they close up on their own once I rinse the soap off. Plus, I get even more of a great post-shave feel. The only thing to be cautious of when leaving a soap on is if the scent, essential oils, could irritate your skin, as with a strong citrus scent soap. Shave on, Mark. Hey, that is a great routine, Shalfer. And I know a lot of other wet shavers have mentioned this in the past, that they will take that remnant shave lather off of the brush or out of the bowl and actually use it for that final rinse and wash to their face. You're taking it a little more of an extra step by leaving it on. Some of the wet shavers will rub it on and work it in and then rinse it off. So you're leaving it on a little more. But I'm really, really intrigued by the fact that the nicks and weepers will help close up on their own. I might try it that way if I ever get a nick or a little bit of a weeper in my shaves to come. That really is a fantastic, fantastic routine. So thanks very much for sharing that, Shalfer. Really, really do appreciate it. Okay, so this next comment comes from viewer Anthony Lauder. And he writes, hi, Mark. For a blade disposal bank, I just use a chicken broth can. I cut a slit in the top, large enough for a blade to pass through, then pour out the broth, rinse the inside of the can several times to make sure all the broth is washed out. Let the inside air dry for about a week, or put it on top of my heater for a couple of hours. Then, when I have a used blade, just slip the blade into the can, and once the can is full, put it in the trash, and that takes care of it. The blades and can get recycled, and there is no danger of anyone getting cut. No mess, no fuss. Thanks very much for that, Anthony. I've seen this before, and I've seen some YouTube videos that offer some instruction on how to do this. And I would encourage any of the viewers out there that want to do something like that, seek out some of those videos, because that really is a good, effective, low-cost option for blade storage. So thanks very much for passing that along, Anthony. I really, really do appreciate it. Hey, in keeping with razor blade banks and razor blade disposal, this next comment comes from viewer Shalfer. Hey, Shalfer, you're 2 for 2 here today. And he says, some local recycling trash companies will recycle DE blades, but some will only allow blades to go to the dump in a sealed bank, whatever variety. I found via their website that Leaf Shave will accept anyone's used blades if you ship it to them in a sealed blade bank, even if it's not their own. Hey, that is great, great to know. So please make note of that. You might want to go up to Leaf Shave's website to verify that. It seems like that is a great, great option. I'm going to go up there and verify that myself. So thanks very much for that, Shalford. That really is a very helpful tip, so to speak, on blade disposal and recycling, that sort of thing. Hey, thanks very, very much. Okay, viewer Charles Wise asks the following. Hi, Mark. Another great Monday morning mailbag. Thanks very much, Charles. I really appreciate it. I have several razors that I do not use anymore. I was wondering how to sell and or trade them instead of letting them sit in the drawer. I have a Merkur Progress, a Merkur 38C, and a Viking Stonehenge razor. Let me know if you know of a site or someone that would be interested. Thanks again. Now, Beth Jones offered, have you thought about Etsy? Also, if you're having a yard sale, that might work too. Yeah, that's very true too. Thanks for that, Beth. But Charles, a lot of the web shaving forums and discussion sites have a BST area, buy, sell, trade, where if you're a member of the wet shaving community group on that particular forum, you can go into the buy, sell, trade and list something to buy, to sell, to trade with someone. I've acquired many of my razors in my collection through that very kind of website, going to a buy, sell, trade area of some of these wet shaving forums that are up there. And it's a great way to do it. Also, there's a Facebook Marketplace. I don't know how that works, but you could sell your razors up there. We've mentioned that in the past as well. I've looked at it, and if you just type in safety razor in the Facebook Marketplace area, a lot of hits come up for that too. So that might be another good option for you. But the buy, sell, trade areas of a lot of these wet shaving forums are very, very popular, and you can get some great deals on some vintage razors and also some slightly used newer razors. I think I got my Mercure Futur that way. I think I also got my Progress that way. What else did I get? I can't remember what else I got, but I did get some great deals on some razors that otherwise would have probably been a little more expensive had I bought them new. I know that the Mercure Futur, the seller only used it once, didn't like it, and put it up for sale. And gosh, I probably saved about $30, something like that. So that's always a good option. Buy, sell, trade forums or buy, sell, trade areas on wet shaving forums. Check out the Facebook Marketplace area. As Beth said, check out Etsy. I don't know how to set up Etsy, but they might offer a way to set up a little store, a little shop where you can sell some of your things, and also a yard sale. If you're having a yard sale, put it out there, and I'm sure that there's somebody in the area that's looking to do the traditional wet shaving would love to acquire those razors from you that way. So good luck with that, Charles. Let us know what direction you go in, and thanks very much for the question. Really do appreciate it. Okay, this next question comes from viewer Dina DeRosa, and he writes, "Hi, Mark. I've been into the traditional wet shave for over 2 years and have learned about and bought a lot of different artisan soaps along with other software and hardware, much more than I need for the rest of my life as I only shave 3 times a week. I would just like to know, what is the average shelf life for a hardish artisan soap if stored correctly and not exposed to moisture? And are some artisans better than others? Thanks in advance." Well, let me give you the answer to the last part of the question. Are some artisans better than others? That's a your mileage may vary kind of question. There are some great artisan soaps out there, artisan soap makers out there. It's going to be personal preference. I love Phoenix Shaving. I love the Stirling soaps. I've a Sphinx Beard. They're great. They've got some great stuff there. The Hendrix Classics, boy, their soap has a really nice base to it. There's some great artisan soap makers out there. It's just going to be personal preference. I can't say one is better than the other, although I admit, and I admitted to another viewer, I'm a little bit biased on Phoenix Shaving because I really do like CK6, but the others are wonderful as well. So that's going to be kind of a personal preference. Now, regarding the shelf life of artisan soap, I think the short answer is you're going to have to contact the artisan soap maker themselves and ask them that question and find out what the best routine is to store their soap. The reason why I'm including your question is this really goes along well with that soap drying station that was mentioned in the new gear segment. That might be a really good item to get a hold of so that you can dry your soap out thoroughly. Obviously, moisture is the enemy from what I understand if you're going to do some long-term storage of a soap. You want to make sure that soap is as dry as possible before you put that cap back on. And I know for me, I store my soaps. No, I don't store my soaps. I let my soaps dry before I store them, put them back on a shelf. I let my soaps dry for a good 24 hours, maybe even a little longer than that. And then I'll cap them back up and put them back in my cupboard. You know what? So far, the stuff from Stirling, the stuff from Phoenix Shaving, the stuff from Sphinx Beard, the stuff from Hendrix Classics. Who else is out there? Oh, there was a soap maker in Chillicothe, Ohio. None are worse for the wear. They're all very, very good. And I'm probably going on maybe a year and a half on some of these soaps, maybe a little bit longer. Some of the soaps that I've purchased from Amazon, like Tabak and Cella and Parasso. They seem to be perfectly fine as well. The key is making sure they're dry before you put the lid back on. That's the key. As far as shelf life overall, again, I would check with the artisan soap maker, but some of the more commercially produced soaps, I've heard, and I can't vouch for this, but I've heard some wet shavers out there will crack open a soap tub that they've had sealed up for years. And, I don't know, you could put a number on it yourself, 5, 10 years, but they would say years, that perfectly fine. Now, the scent may have faded a little bit, but the soap is fine. Obviously, your mileage may vary. But again, I think the key here and the best advice is contact the artisan soap maker themselves and see what they recommend. The other side of the coin is, when in doubt, throw it out. If you even have the least little hint that the soap might be off a little bit in some way, just toss it. Soap is not that expensive. And you can buy a new puck, a very affordable price, and continue to have some great shaves with it. And I understand we acquire, being wet shavers and kind of being into the hobby mode of it, we acquire a lot of shaving soaps. I realize that. But again, when in doubt, throw it out and just grab something new. But contact those artisan soap makers and see what they have to say about that. And if there are any artisan soap makers who have tuned in, I sure would appreciate your feedback on this. That would be great. And any of the other wet shavers out there, if you have any tips that you can share with Dino regarding soap storage, please comment below and let us know. But my understanding has always been, and I don't know if this is cast in stone, this is just what I've understood, is that get as much moisture out of there as possible. Dry it out. Dry before you put that lid back on for any kind of storage. That's what I do. And so far, so good. My soaps seem to be holding up quite well. So that's kind of long and short of it, Dino. I hope that helps. Thanks very much for the question. Okay, viewer Lance Cooper left this comment in one of the video reviews I did. And he wrote, "I wish I could lather like you." Lance, it's not that hard developing a good lather. It just comes with time. That's all it is. It's just time and experience and just doing it every day or doing however often that you shave. I can offer a few tips and tricks on how to make sure you get a good lather. I like the face lather. That's what I do mostly. And I can give you a couple of tricks on how to improve your lathering. The first thing is, obviously, get a good shaving soap. Get a good shaving soap with good quality ingredients. I like the artisan soaps. Viewers turn me on to artisan soaps, the Stirling, the Phoenix Shavings. These have great quality ingredients and are designed to create great lathers. Really, I mean, that's what it comes down to. On the commercial end, you know what? Tabak is great. Tabak's a really terrific soap. Makes a great lather. At least the tallow formula has been great. So they've just changed to vegan, but it makes a great lather. Cella's good. Parasso's good. Point is, start with a good quality soap. Any of the artisan soaps that you see on my channel, the Stirling, the Phoenix Shaving, Sphinx Beard, Hendrix Classics, they're all great. Oh, love the scent of Club Guide. Love it. The next thing that I would suggest is use a synthetic brush. Get a good synthetic brush. And I would get anywhere from a 24 to a 26 millimeter knot. Get a knot that's a little more substantial and get a good synthetic knot. Now, I like using the Atomic Rocket by Phoenix Shaving. This is a really, really terrific shaving brush. Great handle, allows you to get a nice grip of it. And there's something about synthetic brushes that they were just game changers for me. When I started lathering with the synthetic brush, it just changed. I don't know what it is, but I like using synthetic brushes, and I think they create more lather on the face. That's just me. It was not so long ago that I was saying, well, synthetic brushes just for face lathering and maybe a boar or a badger brush if you're doing bowl lathering, that sort of thing. You know what? These are great for bowl lathering, for face lathering, for hand lathering, whatever you want to do. These synthetic brushes are absolutely fantastic, and they get better and better over time. The one you buy today, well, is great. 3 months from now, the next one you buy is going to be even better. That's how fast the technology on these is evolving. They are really, really terrific. The other thing I would recommend is a couple of things. With a tallow-based soap, I like to load the brush. I like to soak the puck, put some hot water on there, dump that out. And then I like to load the brush until I start seeing a cream build up around the edges with a tallow-based soap. As soon as I start seeing that cream and I'm able to get a little bit of a peak, so to speak, just by dabbing and see that peak, then I know that I got enough of a brush load and I'm able to apply it to the face and start building my lather. It's better to add water as you go. In other words, if you have too much soap on the brush, that's okay. Just add water. Just dip those bristles into the sink and just get a little bit of water and add the water as you go. That's the way I've always done it, and it's always worked. And pretty soon, you'll figure out the soap to water ratio. You don't want to do it the other way around. You don't want to have too much water and not enough soap. It's just better just to have more soap on the brush than not. You can always add water and really build that lather on the face just by adding it. And it just comes with time and experience and understanding what kind of soap you're using. Now, for non-tallow soaps, I don't load until I start seeing the cream there. I just load until they react a little bit differently. I can't really quite explain it, but I just am able to see the brush load there. Just able to swirl it and see the brush load. Now, when I load a brush on camera, I think I might be, as some viewers have pointed out, I might be loading too much. You probably don't need to swirl as much as I do in my video reviews, but I'm just trying to be on the safe side so I have enough for the entire shave. And I know I have a lot of excess at the end of the video review. But really, these soaps are so great, you don't really have to load them that much. But again, it's better to load the brush and have a little more soap on the brush and add water as you go. And it really just comes down to just repetition, understanding the soap to water ratio, and just doing it. And pretty soon you're able to gauge how to load the brush with a non-tallow soap and a tallow soap and a lot of other kind of soaps. It just, intuition kicks in and you're just able to do it. And it's just a really, really satisfying way to do the shave. Just that whole process of loading the brush and building a face lather. I love it. And because I love it, I guess I've been patient with it. I love the lather, and I've just been patient with it. And I guess that's why maybe I've developed a technique over time that allows me to build a nice face lather in a short amount of time because I enjoy doing it so much. So don't get discouraged. It'll come with time and practice. You'll understand how to gauge soap to water, how some soaps need a little more water, how some other soaps don't need as much water. Again, I would use a synthetic shaving brush with at least a 24 millimeter knot, 24 millimeter knot to a 26 millimeter knot, I think will give you some good coverage and get a good brush load for you. And that's really about it. So I hope those tips help. That's how I do it. And I would ask the viewers if you have any additional information on how to build a really, really nice lather, whether it's on the face or in a bowl, please comment below and share that with us. I would be really interested to hear how you go about it with your shaving routine. I'm sure Lance would also be very receptive to hear those comments as well. So thanks very much, Lance. I really do appreciate the question. Keep at it. It'll come. Don't worry. It's part of the process. It'll get easier and easier and easier, and it'll be such an enjoyable way to shave. So thanks again for the question. This quick comment comes from viewer Alan H. He left this comment in the Wisdomit versus Polsilver razor blade showdown video review that I did. And he said, very nice. I'm getting some original from Poland very soon. And I got the brown pack of Polsilvers. Very rare. I got my friends in Poland to fish it out for me. Rare blades. Wow. I would be interested in seeing an image of that, Alan, when they do arrive, as would the other viewers. I've never heard of a brown pack of Polsilvers. That is pretty amazing. I think I'm going to do a Google search after I shoot this video and see if I can come across anything. That is really, really fascinating. But if you tune in and you're listening to this, please, if you've got those blades, send me an image and give me a little bit of a background on that. That's absolutely fascinating. I think the viewers would really, really be interested in hearing about the Polsilver blades in the brown package. Thanks again, Alan. Really do appreciate it. Well, viewer Jeff Bradley wrote, and he said, Mark, another great Monday morning mailbag today. Your videos are very well done. Thank you very much for that, Jeff. I really appreciate it. I love doing the editing. I love shooting these videos. And really, I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in. It really is just been so delightful to really do this. I love doing this show. Anyhow, he continues, one aspect of this hobby that I've explored over the past few months in the pandemic is the restoration of old shaving brushes. I've restored 6 brushes so far, and they have all turned out well, in my humble opinion. One was gifted to an old friend. I pick up the brushes online for $5 to $8 each. I then source the knots from Shave Forge for only a few dollars. After I carefully remove the old knot, I load up the hollow handles with metal to get near 4 ounces. I then fill the handle with epoxy and set the knot. I've used 5-minute epoxy, but you have to be fast. I prefer 30-minute epoxy for that extra working time. The weight of the handle has a nice feel. I let the epoxy cure for 24 hours before use. The refurbished brushes from left to right are the Ever-Ready 300 PBT with a 20 millimeter white horsehair, the Mohawk 3-300 with 24 millimeter synthetic brown black knot, the Ever-Ready 200T with 20 millimeter synthetic fox knot, the Ever-Ready 300 PBT with 20 millimeter synthetic 2-band badger knot, the Ever-Ready 100T with 20 millimeter brown horsehair knot. This is not really difficult to do, and I get a little more satisfaction on my shave knowing that I put it together. By doing it yourself, the options are numerous for handles and knots. They are all obviously different, but all of them lay down some nice lather, as I'm primarily a face lathering kind of guy. Me too. I love doing the face lather. Perhaps this will inspire others to try some brush restoration. You can see some of my vintage Gillette razors in my new stand, sourced from Wet Shaving by Steve on Etsy. All the best, Jeff Bradley. Thanks very much for that, Jeff. I really do appreciate those. Are beautiful brushes. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope that does inspire a lot of us out there to do some brush restoration. I know I have an Ever-Ready brush that belonged to my father that I've been meaning to restore. The knot is just completely gone. And I bought another Ever-Ready brush online from eBay to kind of practice on. and to take that knot out and put in a new knot to see if I could do it correctly and restore the brush. Just haven't had the time, and hopefully when I get the time, maybe I will dabble in that a little bit. There are some ins and outs that I'm not really familiar with, but there are a lot of YouTube instructional videos on how to do this brush restoration. So if you're interested in doing brush restoration, just go up to YouTube and do a search for shaving brush restoration. There's a lot of great resources up there from folks who know how to do it. And Jeff, I would encourage you to do a video yourself and show people how it's done, because the result of what you have there is absolutely beautiful. Love the Ever Ready 300 PBT with 20 millimeter white horsehair knot. All of these, I mean, I love all the brushes that you have up there. Just absolutely beautiful. And yeah, it's just fantastic. And I can understand how it's very satisfying to do a face lather with a brush that you restored. Yeah, that's really, really neat. So thanks very much for sharing that, Jeff. Really, really do appreciate it. Well, that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Please share, please subscribe, please like. Hit that bell so it'll give you a yell the next time I upload a video. Comment below. Let me know. Check out the Executive Shaving Company. Use the code MARK5. Check out my blog, georgetoon.com/blog, for my comic strip George, other cartoons, other videos like this. I'm on Facebook. Check out my Facebook page. Check out Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements for some great, great shaving gear. Check out VikingsBlade.com for some great shaving gear. Check out Global Shave Clubs International for some great shaving gear. Check out my Amazon product page at amazon.com/shop/MarkZerati, where you'll find all the products I review in this channel, organized and categorized so you can find everything in a snap very easily. I'll leave you with this laugh. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Make it a great week.